What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and American Contractor. They are linked in the description to this video if you guys want to go ahead and check them out. So we already had some activity into yesterday, and we're going to continue that into today. Storm System Derik has officially made its debut and is pushing its way through the Central Plains. So we're going to see a continued increase in activity today, and then into tomorrow we will still see some significant weather possible. Much of the central U.S. is going to be under a risk, as well as multiple metro areas that could see large hail, tornadoes, wind, the works. So a significant weather day for tomorrow, and then that's going to continue into Wednesday as Storm System Derik continues to push off to the east. So we're going to cover all that in a second, but before we get into our weather, going into our upcoming events first, the only one of those right now is going to be the Beacon Grand opening, and this is on Thursday, April 14th in Aurora, Colorado. So if you guys want to go ahead and go on out to 14200 East Moncrief Place to say hello to the Hail Trace gang, see the new Beacon location, possibly win a new UTV, and talk about all of the crazy events and activity that is happening over the first few days of this week, head on out to the Beacon Grand opening in Aurora, Colorado, and see us there. So for now, we got tons of precipitation moving away across the east right now, the Ohio Valley and the southeast, but the rest of us are in the clear, and that's going to contribute to our significant weather chances for today. So if you guys are in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, any of those regions could start to see some severe weather bubbling up over the next few hours, and that's going to continue into tonight. So this clear air right behind all of this precipitation is very important because that's going to contribute to that heat and instability that we're seeing in a few hours here. So if you guys, again, are in the Texas area, all the way from Dallas down into south central Texas and then up into the Little Rock area and even Memphis, Tennessee, that's where that cold front is going to be pushing southeastward through later this afternoon. So it's 82 in Dallas right now, 80 in Houston, and then much colder, 58 degrees in Kansas City behind that front. So that air mass instability is going to contribute to all of that high instability that we see through the area today. So 62 degrees in Dallas for our dew points, just super humid basically, 11 degrees in Denver. So again, it's super cool and dry behind that cold front, super hot and humid out ahead of it. So that's going to contribute, like I said, to all that CAPE and instability, and we're going to look at those in a second. But here's the setup for the week overall. So we've got Storm System Derik now, this low pressure system getting ready to roll through the Central Plains. And right on ahead of this is going to be our cold front here, okay? So we've got a cold front moving into that area of instability, and as that pushes to the east, we'll start to see our storms ramp up for this afternoon. So here we are now, and then that's going to continue to push down to the south. Now this super deep trough is really going to spark a lot of instability, and that's why we're seeing things start to get so much more widespread and so much more significant weather-wise into Tuesday afternoon. Out ahead of this cold front, this whole corridor here could see significant hail and wind as well. Then Derik is going to continue to push off to the east, and as that does, we'll see our risk shift to the east on with it ahead of that cold front, and we'll get more weather for Wednesday afternoon and evening as that finally lifts up to the north towards the end of the week, and then we'll see our severe weather chances taper off a little bit. But for today, we're going to see plenty of instability ahead of that heat and humidity. So Dallas, Texas, tons of it by 3 p.m. when those storms start bubbling up. Now they will be through Oklahoma and Arkansas, so they won't be reaching you quite yet. Things are going to start to spread to the southeast or southwest later on. But through the initial development area, we still got those moderate to high values. Those are going to continue to roll along, and then by 7 p.m., starting to see those taper off a little bit as our storms get rolling through the area, and then they're going to, like I said, start to spread southwest into the central Texas area, and we could see some more storms for you guys as well. And then things are going to start to taper off for the evening and overnight hours, and then we'll get another round for Tuesday where we could see just a ton of severe weather across the central U.S., like we said. So through Oklahoma and Arkansas, again, by 3 p.m., here's our significant hail model. Here's what we could see by this afternoon as those storms start to develop in the next few hours here, okay? So we've got those moderate to high values, and with that, we could see some large hail moving through, and then we'll get a second round of it by around 7 p.m. And again, things are starting to taper off, but that's when we get those storms passing through the area, and then things start to move through the DFW area with our current model runs. And then it follows that same pattern as our CAPE, where it kind of dissipates through our risk area for today and starts to move upwards through the Central Plains for our risk for tomorrow. Okay, so here's what that's going to look like on our future radar. Here's that first round of storms developing by 3 p.m. Isolated storms here all the way across the 44 corridor through Fort Smith area. We could see some hail starting to form there. And then that's going to continue blowing up by 4 p.m. Okay, this is just an hour later, and we got a couple of angry supercells moving through the area. Those could drop large hail, produce some tornadoes, as well as gusty winds as well. Those are going to continue to race off to the east, and these are really fast-moving storms. So here we are by 7 p.m. This first one's already in central Arkansas, and then we've got another band of isolated storms moving through the central part of the state into that area of high instability. And as they go, we could see a continued chance for tornadoes, large hail, gusty winds. There we are by 10 p.m., those moving off, and then things starting to spread off to the southeast later on in the evening and overnight hours. So it's going to be a more conditional chance here for the Dallas, Texas area, as well as South Central Texas. You know, our models aren't showing much, but we do have the environmental conditions for hail to form if we can get that disturbance to break the cap through the area, and we could see some storms blowing up just like they are through Arkansas. So we're keeping a close eye on Texas for today into tonight. Then for our hail forecast for today, we could see quarters to half dollars possible anywhere, again, from South Central Texas up into the very far southwestern part of the Ohio Valley here, centered in on Arkansas and the southeastern portion of Oklahoma for our highest hail chances. So, and also for our largest hail chances, okay? So this hatched area is going to be where we're likeliest to see hail, where you saw all those supercells streaming off to the east through the area. So higher chances for Little Rock, for Fort Smith, and for down near like Idabel, Oklahoma, to see some hail into tonight and this afternoon. Any of those storms that form through those areas could see hail up to 2.5 inches in size, maybe even larger. We could get some baseballs out of this. Dallas, Fort Worth, as well as the areas south of you guys near Waco. You could get hail, again, if you can break that conditional risk. If you can break that cap, hail could form in the area, and it's, again, going to follow a similar pattern as we're seeing up in Arkansas, where we're getting those loner cells that could produce large hail. So moderate chance for you guys to see hail into tonight, and any hail that does form could be up to ping pong to golf ball size. Then moving on up into the Memphis, Tennessee area, as those storms move over you, they're going to cluster up a little bit, and we could see, again, ping pong to golf balls, but we're going to start to taper off on that hail size. Same story for you guys in Paducah, Kentucky. Could see some hail tonight, but it's going to be a little bit messier of a storm mode. So our best chance for that large, significant hail is going to be through Arkansas and Oklahoma. The best chance for hail overall is also falling in that area, and we could see some large stones falling into tonight. Then for our city forecast for you guys in Little Rock as well as DFW. So your timeline today for Little Rock, it's going to be a long one, 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. You could see those storms continue to track eastward over you guys. The maximum hail size possible for you guys is 2.5 inches. You're likely to see some hail in and around your area, so the chance of 1-inch hail is high. And then the chance of anything greater than 1.5 or 1.75, so golf balls, is going to be moderate. You could see some large hail into tonight, so we're watching you specifically in Little Rock. And then off in Dallas, Fort Worth, your chances are going to be lower for hail overall, anything severe or greater than ping pong and golf ball sized. However, again, if you can get that hail, it could be up to golf ball size, so 1.75 inches. And it's going to be a shorter lived time frame from 5 p.m. to 8, oh, that should be 8 p.m., but 3 hours for you guys that you could see some severe weather into tonight. Then for our wind forecast. So I know DFW gets hit every time. It's a popular city for hail nowadays. But then for wind, it's going to be a similar risk area all the way from South Central Texas up into the Ohio Valley. Okay, so if you guys are in Paducah, if you guys are in Memphis, Little Rock, Fort Smith, that's where we'll have the best chance of seeing wind as those storms track over you and then cluster up and continue their way through the east, through Paducah and through Memphis, and then down through Texas area and into Shreveport, Waco, DFW, you guys have a low end chance for the same reasons as we saw with that hail, with the conditional chance of storm development. And then our tornado chances are going to be through central Arkansas as well as southeast Oklahoma, where we saw that hatched hail risk for the same reasoning. We're seeing those supercells that could produce those large updrafts and those large hail stones, and then along with that, we could see some rotation and see some tornadoes possible through the area as well. So if you guys are in Fort Smith, Little Rock, southeastern Oklahoma, just again, stay very, very in tune to your weather for today and tonight as these storms develop through the area. Then into tomorrow, what about Austin on Wednesday hail? We're actually going to show you guys Wednesday in a second, so stick around. Tomorrow, first things first though, is going to be quite an active day for much of us in the Central Plains, including Texas. So starting off with our northern end of the risk, because this spans pretty much the entirety of the Central Plains, we're going to see our storms start to develop around 5 p.m. So it's going to be a quiet, clear day for most of the day. And then right when you're getting off of work in the Sioux Falls area, we'll start to see some storms develop. And then check this out. Over the next hour, boom, there we go. By 7 p.m., we start to see all of these isolated cells forming just northwest of the Des Moines area, tracking up into Minneapolis. Any of these could be large hail with the instability that's moving through the area. Could see up to baseballs with that. So those are going to continue to track upwards into now Minneapolis and the La Crosse area. And then we see this line form in just a matter of hours here, tracking through Omaha. Again, we could see some intense winds and large hail, especially with the southward edge of this line as it continues to spread off to the southwest. So we're watching really the tail end of this to see how far southwestward it can spread. If it can get into Wichita, if it can get into the Oklahoma City area, we're going to see a large hail risk with this as well. But can it break that cap? So that's going to be a key thing into tomorrow, whether that can continue to develop to the southwest. But for now, Omaha, definitely seeing some storms development. Same with Des Moines as this tracks just an hour later. We see that line just start to rip across the Iowa and the Missouri-Kansas area. That's going to continue off to the east over Kansas City, pushing its way off into the Chicago area by Wednesday morning, when our risk will continue, and we'll see this start to redevelop and re-intensify through Wednesday afternoon. Then tracking down south into the Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas area, it's going to be messier. We will see some rain and some showers throughout the day. There you go, just south of Shreveport by 3 p.m. But then out behind it, we will see some isolated storm development at this point. What's happening right now is we could potentially get a storm system, it's basically this, that tracks through the area and causes sinking air out behind it. And what that does is it just stabilizes the environment. So we're really watching whether Oklahoma and Wichita all the way down into North Texas can recover from that, and whether we can get that cap to break for those severe storms through the area. So if you guys are in the southeast part of Texas and the southwest part of Louisiana, some rain for you by 3 p.m. with those isolated cells starting out. And then there you go, DFW. If you guys are from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we got some supercells tracking in by around 5 p.m. So again, this is the end of your workday. That's a big metro area. Just watch that as you're leaving work. We could see some large hail possible with these. You guys do have the instability present to produce some larger stones as well as possible tornadoes. And then we're seeing this start to intensify through Louisiana and southern Arkansas, although that's going to be much messier, less organized, less potential for large hail with that. So that's going to continue to track off to the east through the Jackson, Mississippi area by 8 p.m. just as a band of loud thunderstorms. And then we could get a second round of smaller supercells moving through DFW by 8 p.m. by tomorrow evening. So again, just a couple rounds for you guys, a couple chances for some large hail and gusty winds, and then that's going to continue to push off, and we get that second round of development through Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas by Wednesday morning once again as that pushes off to the east. So here's what we have for you guys for tomorrow for our hail chances. They're going to be significant possibilities, and yes, this is going to be for Tuesday, so if you guys are in Tulsa, we're going to get to your city forecast in a second. But for tomorrow, we have a more significant chance for large hail specifically through the northern end of this risk area, and then it spans the whole part of the Mississippi Valley and much of the Central Plains as well, even into the Ohio Valley. So quarters to $half possible anywhere through that region, extending all the way into Kentucky. And then we get some larger hail possible with the development of those storms, and where that cold front tracks through and meets that dry line, that's where we could see the chance for the largest hail through there, up to baseballs in size. So if you guys are in San Antonio, if you guys are in Austin area, Shreveport, Dallas, Fort Worth, we got hail chances for you guys tomorrow. Lower end for the San Antonio, Austin area, as those storms look like they're pretty much lingering up through the DFW region right now. But again, if we can get enough instability through the southern part of this risk, low end chance of hail for you guys. Moderate chance with any of those storms that are tracking through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Moderate chance for you guys to see hail. And if we do get hail, it could be up to tennis balls in size. Shreveport taken down on the size just a little bit, up to golf balls with those messy storm clusters tracking over you. But you could see a moderate chance of hail again for tomorrow. Tulsa, OKC, and Wichita. Honestly, this is a tough forecast for tomorrow because models aren't showing much over you guys, but the environmental instability is so obviously there that we could get a chance for hail, chance for large hail even, but it's just whether we can break that cap. And so we're going to really have to look at the environmental conditions into tomorrow morning and see what they're doing to see your all's hail chances for tomorrow. However, Tulsa, OKC, and Wichita, I'm not willing to rule you guys out for storms into tomorrow afternoon and evening with the system as it tracks through. So putting you guys in the hail risk, if you get hail, it's going to be a large, however, low end chance overall right now to see that large hail. Then tracking up into our northern end of the risk, Minneapolis, Chicago, St. Louis. You guys are going to be on the outside of that risk, so low end chance for you guys. And then Kansas City, moderate chance as that line is passing over you. It looks like it's going to be more of a line, so we might be dropping down on our hail sizes and our hail chances, but it's there nonetheless that we could get some severe weather. So moderate chance for you guys to see hail. Omaha and Des Moines, I think you guys are going to be the pick cities tomorrow to see that large hail as those supercells continue to track over you initially and then band up into another line that tracks over you guys later on in the evening. So a couple rounds of severe weather possible for you guys into tomorrow. And with that, we could see large hail, gusty winds, tornadoes, the works. So speaking of wind, yeah, I know, come on, OKC, we're hoping for something at the Hail Palace. It's always kind of fun to watch those severe storms, but we'll see what we can get. Oh, I forgot to change the legend on this. This is for hail, okay? So Omaha is going to be in the high to extreme chance to see hail into tomorrow. I think you guys are the best city to see that hail as those storms initially develop over you. Same with Des Moines, we could see some large hail into tomorrow, so high-end chance for you. KC and Dallas, Texas, moderate chance. You guys both have some consistent runs of storms developing over you. How unstable can it get? What's the storm mode going to be? There's a few more questions up in the air for that, so moderate chance for you guys, moderate to too high to see hail chances into tomorrow. And then OKC, Tulsa, we talked about it a little bit, but we're leaving you guys in the low end for now, but not counting you out entirely for hail. So for wind, it's going to be a similar risk area all the way from Minnesota down into Louisiana and spreading out into the Ohio Valley through Kentucky. But if you guys are in New Orleans, Houston, Jackson, I think I saw somebody mention Houston for severe weather, you guys have a chance on Tuesday, tomorrow, to see some gusty winds, and then all the way through the outskirts of that risk area, low-end chances for you guys. Dallas, Fort Worth, and Shreveport, once again, more consistent storm activity over you guys, so moderate chance to see winds and tornadoes, so you want to be on the lookout for that, especially since it's, again, towards the end of your workday when you're leaving, so just stay tuned for that. And then out near Memphis, Little Rock, once again on the outskirts of the risk area for low-end chance. OKC, Tulsa, Wichita, low end just because of the way this whole storm system is developing. So same with the hail, same reasoning for that. Then once we get into the north end, that looks like where the bulk of the activity is really going to be. So Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, high-end chance to see some gusty winds into tomorrow. Could see some rotation as well with some possible tornadoes. La Crosse, you guys also have a moderate chance of seeing some possible damaging wind gusts into tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then Chicago, St. Louis, Louisville, as things track off to the east, lower end chance for you to see damaging winds into tomorrow. And then last but not least, for Wednesday, here's what we have for our preliminary risk area all the way through the Midwest, through Chicago, Grand Rapids, all the way down into Louisiana and the far southeast here through Alabama, Mississippi. Could see all risks possible right now. Hail, wind, tornadoes, it's all on the table. The best chance for the most intense thunderstorms is going to be all the way from Illinois down into Louisiana here. We could see supercells with the chance to form tornadoes into Wednesday, as well as large hail. So again, everything on the table for Wednesday, severe weather-wise, could be an active one, and we will keep you guys updated as always. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media. You can get us at YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you don't miss our live videos. Then you can also follow us on YouTube, hit subscribe and that notification bell so you always catch us when we go live. Almost choked and maybe died. I'm so sorry. Gonna work my way through that one. You can also follow us on TikTok. We're trying to do morning forecast discussions to tell you guys all about your severe hail chances a little bit before this video. So if you want a more in-depth view of the forecast, especially over the next few days, make sure to follow us on TikTok there. It's at HailTrace, and you can get all the info you need a little bit ahead of time. So, and then if you want to follow us or call us, you can get us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out our website, hailtrace.com, for more details. And for now, I'm meteorologist Andrew Myers. I'm going to go cough. Thanks for watching.